of conversations with people over the last few days, and it's been with potential connections and or collaborators. So what's the difference? You know what? I can't say that there is much of a difference, other than to say that there's a reason you might want to collaborate. It might be a financial reason. Connections might be people that might be in your supply chain. They might be your customers, those sort of things. But let's go back to tin tacks, and the few tips I want to give you today are relevant, whether it's about creating connections with people for the purpose of maybe collaborating. That might be the way to put it more succinctly. But you know what? I've been talking to a group of people lately about an opportunity for putting in referral networks into your business, because what I know is going to find one client can take as much effort as connecting with a potential referral source. In other words, collaborators, connections. They're connections first and then collaborations. I think one becomes, transitions into the other if that's why you want to do it. But you should never do it for the purpose of the potential income. That is, again, this harks way back to, I know when we've spoken about in Navigate Biz previously, why did you start your business? Was it because you needed to replace a salary and were looking for a particular income, or was there a bigger purpose and value add that you were looking to provide? And that's the same for your connections growing into collaboration opportunities. You should always approach it from the perspective of, what does this potential collaborator and connection have that aligns with your values, your purpose, and maybe even your programs and your products? For those of you who heard me before, I've been really successful in years gone by of creating collaboration partnership agreements with some of my biggest competitors. And the only way I could do that was to, so I just changed the screen on one of these computers, was to be sure, absolutely clear about why I existed and why I was doing what I was doing and what the legacy I wanted to impact and leave when I leave this earth, when I leave the business. But there's a really important piece that comes before that. What are my values? What are the things that I stand up for? And are they aligned with the potential connection / collaborator that I'm looking to work with? We've all had it where we've had people in our business or we've worked with people in a business that those values and purpose and goals and visions and why we exist, there's a disconnect and there's no alignment. That can make that relationship very difficult to manage and transition through. And so when you are going to the effort of putting your business out there, yourself out there as an individual, and you want to collaborate, build a connection and collaborate with others, you have to be really clear. You have to go and do the research first. Is there connection to the values and purpose and why they exist? And is there alignment with yours? That's a really important piece, because otherwise it becomes truly difficult to navigate. Before you do that again, though, is think about why. Why are you doing this? And then we often speak about this in Navigate. Why did you start your business? Be very clear about what it is that the outcome needs to be. Now, I know when I've spoken to potential collaborators over the many months and years, it's not about the income. It's not always necessarily even about improving that business full stop. But it is about what it does for their clients. So if you can make their clients happy and provide an additional service or offering, that in turn then improves that business that you're collaborating with, and then potentially improves yours, provided the commercials work out. So always be really clear. Who is their customer? How can you serve them? How can you improve their lot? And therefore, does it has a positive ROI, return on investment, whether it's in time, efficiency, money, experience for the business that you're talking to? So be really clear about your why. Be clear about that you connect to your values and their purpose and they're aligned with yours. And it's not about the money. And so, there have been years, collaborations and partnerships that I've had in the past where there's been no money changing hands. But it has definitely improved the customer experience and the value add. And so therefore the reputation of both businesses has improved. And so that makes it worthwhile to consider. So it doesn't always have to have money involved, but there's often the case that there is a split of income between the parties. Now, would you do it as a fixed amount or would you do it a percentage? I quite like a percentage because it's easy to manage. You can put it in a system and it's just a calculation of a number. If it's a flat fee, you've got to always make sure, does that flat fee erode any of your profit? Does it make it not viable? So, percentages can be handy. Get it in writing. Goodness me, anything that you do with another organisation that is from a collaboration point of view, a partnership view, a joint delivery point of view, always get it in writing. And, it can be a very simple referral agreement or it can be a formal partnership agreement. Go to the effort of going to get the legal advice, get the document in place. And be aware, if you're approaching people to collaborate, they may already have an agreement in place. Like I've got an agreement in place. I often come across organisations that have an agreement in place. And so we exchange agreements and we work out which one is the most viable for either party. It could be theirs, it could be mine. As long as it protects each other's interests, that the commercials are covered, and that everybody understands what role they're going to play in this transaction, who owns the customer, who doesn't, is there a joint ownership, and what responsibilities are from both parties. So that's super important. One of the things, as I said, one of the things that you might choose to do is to connect and create a collaboration or a partnership with somebody solely to be able to serve that organisation and that customer. They may not necessarily have something to offer you other than you being able to offer your product to them. They may not be able, it might not be a two-way street. So just be really careful and ensure that there's a win there in some way for both parties. And you know what this entire thing is around is relationships. Relationships is such an important part in your career and your business. And whether you're in a career today, maybe you're going to start a business later, remember that those relationships might be there for the long term. And maybe there's something that can be leveraged between you to the benefit of both parties for the future. Now, I can't tell you how many collaboration meetings and appointments I have weekly. I'm constantly meeting new people, constantly for the reason of connecting and building a relationship. Because I know, we've all heard this like, know and trust piece, right? It's a very important part in your career and in your business to build relationships. And it might be that today a collaboration opportunity is not available, and that's perfectly fine. For me, I want to be able to have, a buffet of different businesses that I can say to my clients, oh, you need this. Actually, let me look through here. This company, this individual, I've met them, I understand, we had a number of meetings with them. I can validate that their offer is going to meet your needs. Let me introduce you. For me, that's about bringing value add to my customer. And so whether I get something out of it or not, it doesn't really matter to me, because I know when I can build relationships, and I can proactively build and work on those relationships, I know that'll come back to me 100-fold. I'm very aware of that. So, is there a difference between connections and collaborations? No, it is build the connection first, create a trusted relationship. So you've got to work it. Like any relationship, you don't just date somebody and marry them tomorrow. Business relationships are the same. Again, doesn't matter whether you're in business or work for a business. Building relationships takes time and effort, and then you may find that there's a collaboration opportunity in play here. Aligned to values and purpose needs to be a win-win, both parties. And that win doesn't necessarily just sit on a commercial number, a value, a dollar number. It could be the experience, it could be the additional services. Any of those things could be in place. Get it in writing, absolutely get it in writing. And remember, this is a relationship that you need to work. It is not something that you build it, you put an agreement in place, you put it in the drawer and you forget about it, because then nothing will happen. What are you proactively going to do to work on that relationship? And it has to be a two-way street. I trust that was useful. I know this is something that I'm deeply passionate about. I do a lot of speaking gigs around it. If you need to know more, check it out on Navigate Biz. You'll see it's been through a bit of a rebrand, and I'm very excited to announce that. And of course, there's so many programs available. We've got a new program coming called Her Transformation, and I'm very excited for that program. It is about working on connecting back to your purpose and your why, to inspire you to understand the size of the opportunity, the career decisions you can make, and to take positive action. And what it will lead you into is the most amazing MBA through any of our international Australian universities. That, you know what, even as a business owner, it is absolutely the thing you need to consider. But enough about that. Connections versus collaborations, one becomes before the other. Build a relationship in the middle. Check it out. Go and check out my free Mentor Minute. If you want to have a chat, happy to do that. And we can just walk through all the options that you have available to you so that we can help you make a good, informed decision about the pathway for your career or the pathway for your business. You have an awesome day, and I will see you next week. Ta-da.